Hello everyone, and we have some news today, which is pretty odd for a Wednesday. The Proving Ground will begin at the end of this month, and that will focus around the Battle Beta. So this is going to be the Siege rework. There's a few changes coming in. I've had a bit of a gander. It looks alright. So let's talk about the intro, because there's a few things to talk about here. So again, rework beta is starting, and it's going to be a beta. This is completely optional. You don't need to use it, but if you want to provide feedback, you're able to. This is going to be from the 24th of July all the way until the 8th of August, so it's a 2-week beta. That's not too bad. It gives enough time for people to kind of play around with stuff and see what these proposed changes are. Remember, when it comes to this, it is proposed changes, so stuff can actually change by the time that 6.3 releases if these changes are going to come in 6.3 fully. And the person leading this is someone called Milcho. He's from CA Sofia. I'm probably butchering your name, so I do apologize. And he is the lead battle designer for CA Sofia. So again, one of the people from CA have probably been moved onto the next project. So let's talk about this, because there is a few changes. Some of them I'm kind of keen on, and one of them sounds pretty exciting. Pocket ladders are finally being removed. So what we changed? The biggest change that we'll be focusing on most in this update is the removal of the so-called pocket ladders, which allowed most infantry units to pull a siege ladder out of nothing and climb the walls of a settlement. In the Proving Grounds, that is not going to be the case, and players, and AI of course, will need to rely on different tactics to overcome the defenses of a well-fortified settlement. I'll have my comments as soon as we're done with the 3 sections here. So why we changed it? There are 2 main reasons why we want to introduce this fundamental change to how sieges work in game: gameplay and immersion. Total War always strives to depict battles in a realistic way. Yeah, the dragons and stuff like that is because it's a fantasy setting, obviously. All projectiles are physically simulated. Shields are providing protection only from the front. Types of hit reactions are based on a relation between the impact force, which is different than damage, of the attacker and the mass of the defender. Even though it is not perfect, and there are many more aspects that can be improved, we believe that the ability to pull a huge ladder out of your nothing can be quite immersion breaking for players and takes away from the more strategic planning of the battle. In addition, this makes walls almost obsolete, allowing enemies to bypass them with ease while making defending the choke points inside settlements the obvious choice. This is not how we want sieges to feel. How will these changes affect you in game? These changes will make your strategic decisions much more important and have you plan your approach or defense of a siege more carefully. And if you don't like them or prefer to get to the slaughter faster, you can always turn pocket ladders back on in the option menu. Okay, so it's going to be an option. Good. Just make sure that you do so before you actually get into the battle. Alright, so removal of pocket ladders is going to be one of those things which is generally quite good. Pocket ladders are just really odd, and it affected AI pathfinding, it affected the AI in general, and it's just kind of annoying, right? It's nice to see this being changed. My only thing is I would have kept pocket ladders in a way where you just build them. So rather than everyone having pocket ladders, you would have to spend resource for it. Because at the end of the day, ladders are something that you see in sieges, and it's something that you see in Warhammer. It's in the Warhammer Siege book. But it is pretty much just confirmed that we're going to be focusing more around siege towers and bounding rams, so that might be a bit better, honestly. We're going to have to wait and see until we can actually play it. Again, pocket ladders as a whole being gone is a good thing. I had this weird situation in a siege recently where one ladder went up, the whole enemy army just conga lined to it, and yeah, I mean, they died before they could even get to me. I had a range army, and yeah, it was just kind of ridiculous. We've had a mod which removed pocket ladders, and to be honest, that worked out quite well in the community, so seeing this officially kind of makes sense. At the end of the day, it is a big problem. The pocket ladders have been a problem since Warhammer 1. Siege equipment rebalance. What we changed and why we changed it. The removal of pocket ladders requires a ton of other changes to make sure the game functions without them. The siege equipment availability has been rebalanced, and players will now be able to field more siege towers and battering rams in siege battles to compensate for the lack of ladders. Stats like speed and durability of that equipment have also been changed to make them a bit more effective as their intended functions. Okay, yeah, okay, good. In addition, we are changing the way siege attrition works, turning it into a linear progression, making it stronger and stronger with each consecutive turn a settlement remains under siege. Actually, that sounds great. Yeah, so I'm not going to complain about that. That sounds great. How will these changes affect you in-game? Players will now need less manpower to construct siege equipment, which means it will be more readily available when sieging settlements. On the other hand, settlements are going to be a tad less susceptible to siege attrition in the early stages of the siege, while taking less overall turns to fully succumb to it. Okay, yeah, I mean, this sounds good. It means that certain siege maps, which some have been changed, by the way, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but some of them are kind of frustrating. You can just siege them down and kill them off if you want to be petty about it, like I usually can be. Yeah, it's going to be better. You're going to be getting the siege ladders more, and also the battling rams. I think this is a good change. Again, we're going to have to wait and see until we can actually get in game. But overall, this does sound like a very good change. Battles, especially sieges, can be really annoying. Defensive adjustments, what we changed. We adjusted the stats of defensive towers and gates. Towers will now slightly be deadlier, but will have much shorter range, while gates will be more durable when it comes to attacks from regular and some monstrous infantry, but less so against battering rams. Oh, great. Why we changed it? Towers currently feel quite annoying for the attacker when they start shooting immediately after deployment, leaving no room for maneuvers or executing strategic attack plans, while the gates feel like they can easily be breached by mundane infantry, making specialized equipment like battering rams obsolete. Yeah, for some reason, war dogs, right? They can just demolish gates within a minute. It's wild. Yet ogres take like 5. It's really strange. Hopefully that's been fixed up, right? How will these changes affect you in game? So these changes will allow you to maneuver outside a settlement you're attacking without being harassed, to open up the opportunity for you to battle with artillery more easily, while also making the defender less helpless against direct, fast infantry attacks. Okay, so I can't wait to see how the AI is going to work with this, because obviously if you're going to be moving your full army, are they going to be able to do that? There's a bit of an issue with docking. Has that been fixed up? That would be good to know. We'll talk about that later on, I guess. Yeah, but this sounds good. The tower situation is going to be nice. Yeah, you want to be able to field your army and not get shot in the moment, because it feels like you're going to have to go straight in. So overall, yeah, good change. This is going to suck, though, for those fighting against very artillery-heavy factions, though. AI battle improvements, what we changed. We can't just remove pocket ladders without teaching the battle AI how to play without them. So for these proving grounds, we have fixed over 50 issues relating to how the battle AI plays or reacts to certain situations, both on the attacking and defending side of sieges. As some of those are not completely related to the pocket ladders, these changes will be present even if the pocket ladders are turned on from the options menu. Why we changed it? Battle AI has always been tricky to get right, but that is most obvious in siege battles. And we are really trying to make it play better and react to the player's actions in a more realistic way. We're not saying that we have fixed the battle AI, but hopefully these improvements will have a lot more convincingly and offer a more interesting challenge. How will these changes affect you in-game? Why is that always changed? Weird. These changes will offer less weird behavior from the AI during sieges and allow it to be able to play the game without the use of pocket ladders. Okay, the docking situation, has that fixed? That's a really big one where enemy AI will just dock up on defensive walls and then never move, allowing you to cast spells on it constantly. Sometimes it's not even just range units. I've seen meta units just dock for some reason. That's a big thing to know. That's something that I really hope we find out about in the Proving Grounds. There's another situation with just like random building. I've seen the AI build like towers and also barricades and walls in areas where I would just generally not go to. It's just super weird. Hopefully we can find out about that, but it's just something really important, isn't it? Siege map improvements, what we changed. With this update, we are also starting an initiative of reworking old siege maps to make them play and feel better. For now, we've only done 3. One for Skaven, Empire, and Orcs. That should be greenskins. But there will be more to come in the future after getting your feedback on them. Why we changed them. Siege maps can often feel a little too cramped with little space to maneuver both inside and outside the settlements. With our reworks, we are looking to open up those maps a bit, allowing for more approaches to the victory points, as well as wider spaces for larger forces to engage one another. Fantastic. Yeah, this is good. The siege map for the Skaven, I mean, there's basically two, but one of them is really bad. The Orcs have a similar one, and the Empire have a similar one. So yeah, this is good. This is good. Some of the maps just feel awful. You can't really maneuver. You can't really move around. You can't do anything. So this is good. This is good. What really needs to be done, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, is that we need more maps. Some factions, like the Skaven, only have 2 siege maps, and we need more. We desperately need more. It's really needed. And finally, what's cooking? Everything we have listed here are just the first steps for us to get sieges where we want them to be. And we are looking at this as a long-lasting effort to improve the game. Okay, so the rework isn't going to come all at once. It's basically going to be every few patches, which that could work. That could actually work. In the future, we have a wish list of possible options to explore, such as introducing ladders as a new constructible siege equipment. Okay, yeah, you see, that's what I was talking before. That's great. Rebalancing the way garrisons work, that would be amazing, not gonna lie. And what units are available for all factions. Changing the way the buildings and towers and barricades work. I think that's fine now, because you can't really rebuild them, so it's okay. As well as more battle AI and pathfinding upgrades. Okay, so we're not going to see a lot of pathfinding at the moment, but we might see a few things. That would be good. That would be good. And yeah, overall, battle AI would be great. It's not just for sieges. It would be nice if that just fixes battle AI in general. Last but not least, we understand that sometimes a lot of us want to keep painting the campaign map in our chosen color and not waste time with siege battles or battles in general. So we're already hard at work at polishing out with the heavy use of hammers and axes, that auto-resolver and making it function properly. Okay, cool. So there's a lot of people who want to avoid sieges because some of the siege maps are awful. Even with these changes, they will even acknowledge that. That's fine. That's good. It's just, it needed to be done. Siege auto-resolver has been broken kind of since Warhammer 2, actually. So yeah, it's good to see. This is, in theory, in paper, because until we get to play with it, we're not going to be able to see, but it's in theory a good start. Hopefully it's the start of a grand change for sieges and actually making them a little bit more enjoyable, because the old system of just kind of getting rid of minor settlement battles, that was a band-aid. That needs to be fixed up too. Minor settlements need to be fixed up a little bit. Hopefully we'll see some changes for that too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. Have a great day, guys. I am going back to some painting because I'm almost done with a bunch of cafe stuff. Well, I'm trying to. See ya.